My first official day in Tamil Nadu. I visited St. Thomas Basilica. Built in the 16th century by Portuguese explorers over the tomb of St. Thomas, one of Jesus Christ's 12 apostles, it was rebuilt by the British as a cathedral in 1893. Later, my driver Simbo brought me to the seashore, which is primarily a fisherman community area. Most fishermen come from the poor tenements just across the sea. We arrived in Mahabalipuram. I first saw the shore temple. Built between 700 and 728 AD, it is both a rock-cut and freestanding structural temple. It has 3 separate shrines, 2 dedicated to the god Shiva and 1 to Vishnu. You can also see a row of bulls, representing Nandi, the Vahana, or vehicle, to Shiva. He is believed to be the guardian of Shiva's home and is an essential part of a Shiva temple. Next was the Pancharathas, aka the 5 Rathas monument. Built between 630 and 668 AD, each monument is dedicated to a Hindu god and is named after one or more of the Pandavas, the 5 hero brothers of the epic Mahabharata, and their common wife, Draupadi. Ratha means chariot, possibly meaning that the monument's form or function was to serve as vehicles to the gods. This was my favorite monuments of the area, the Descent of the Gange. This giant relief was carved in the mid-7th century, measures about 29 meters long by 13 meters high. It retells the story of Arjuna's penance. It is situated next to other smaller monuments like this one. A bit further away, there are a couple of smaller monuments, including Krishna's famous butterball.
Hey, so I am in my hotel. I am in Mahalipuram. I hope I'm saying that right. So as you saw previously, when we arrived, we almost immediately started to have a look at the ruins. I'll give more info in the video, so like that you see previously. It was really nice. I was actually impressed. I didn't know much about this town or city, no, not a town. I didn't know too much about the town, so it was actually nice. It was actually a nice surprise. There was the Temple of the Shore, I think it is. I'll have to double check that. And then we went to see the 5 Rathas. I'm probably butchering the Indian language, I am so sorry. Yeah, it's very impressive. It's all carved in the stone, and I don't know, I'm quite classic. I love everything that's a bit old and everything. And yeah, and then we went to another place, something the Penitence. Let me check what its name is. Arjuna Penitence. And that again was very nice. There was actually a beautiful wall sculpted like in the rock itself, so it was quite impressive. I got stopped a couple of times by Indians who wanted to take a picture, so normally I tend to say no because, especially if it's men, because I know about, like, it's not necessarily in their culture to take photos of strangers, foreigners, and usually when it's men who do it, it's with a sexual connotation. But this time it was like a whole Indian family, and actually it was mainly the children. And I was a bit surprised because, I kind of felt like a star, but, I didn't understand why they wanted my picture personally. Like, I think it was because I was wearing a huge hat. Maybe they liked the hat. And also, I looked so tourist. I had this huge backpack. I had my huge, I forgot the name, hat. I'm tired. The sun has hit my head a lot. And, so no, it was fun. I was actually at different areas that they stopped me once when I was visiting different places. So, and actually at one point there was one girl who, asked, and then all her family came over, and I was like, oh, what is happening? And actually they came back again, so that was quite fun. It's 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 flattering, but free night if I want to go into town. I don't think I will because I'm not too reassured to be on my own. I think there would be no issues because I saw some women walking, like foreigners walking in the street with no issues, but I'm a bit paranoid and everything, and I'm often uneasy in some situations, so I prefer there's someone with me. That's just my own personal way, but I don't think there would be any issues if I just walked, but and plus it was really hot and I'm really tired, so I'm gonna go take a nap. Tomorrow I am gonna be going to Pondicherry, so I'm very excited about that. Yes, because it's one of the Indian cities that I really wanted to see the most after the Taj Mahal. So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow.
On the way to Pondicherry, Simbo brought me to see a salt evaporation plant, the Tamil Nadu Salt Corporation. I got to walk alongside and even taste a bit of salt. We then went to a small town called Oroville. It wasn't part of my schedule, so I didn't know much about it. Founded in 1968 by Mira Alfaza, the mother, it is a universal town where any man and woman can live in peace, no matter their origin and beliefs. It is meant to be a utopic town. Oroville is surrounded by a beautiful forest, and even has a plant shop of his own.
So we're almost... Don't make fun of my hat. We're almost in Pondicherry. We're actually at the gates of Pondicherry, and my driver just went to go get a paper, or I guess some permission to enter. I didn't really catch that. And I thought I'd try and film somewhere outside of my hotel room. So there you go. If you want to have a look at Pondicherry, well, at the entry at least. Alright, I'll see you in the next part, which I don't know what it is. Probably the church.
As a matter of fact, Simbo dropped me off to the guest house. I was greeted by a lovely staff, got some red powder called kumkum placed on my forehead, and went to my room. The room was gorgeous, the best so far. And here's me with the kumkum dot. After grabbing lunch, I headed out. I first came across Gandhi's statue, next to the seaside promenade. Next stop was the Church of Our Lady of Angels. I couldn't visit inside because there was some construction work being done. I had to walk quite a bit to reach the next place, the Basilica of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Again, it was under construction, but you could go in this time. On my walk, I came across a couple of shrines like this one. They're quite common in the streets. I arrived at the Bharati part, greeted by Baba Shed Ambedkar.
So right now I'm in Pondicherry. I've been walking a lot, so that's why I sweat. I'm on top next to the sky, and yeah, it's quite nice. Still have a few things to finish. I might pass by the hotel before I go home. I'm gonna go in this park over here for a bit and keep you up to date.
In the center of the park, there's a white monument called Ayi Mandapa, which was built during the time of Napoleon III. It commemorates the provision of water to the French city during the spring.
Okay, so I'm back at the hotel. I took a quick shower and drank a bit of water because I forgot my bottle here. Yeah, that was smart of me. So anyway, now I am gonna go to a temple. I'll put the name down here because I'm not gonna pronounce it otherwise very well. I'm gonna butcher it. So it's a temple, I believe, for the god Ganesh, and before you enter the temple, there's supposed to be an elephant that blesses you. So
I really don't want to be part of something where an animal is suffering, but since it's technically supposed to be a god, I guess, I don't know. I'll still go to the temple and see how it is. So I'm gonna go to the Grand Bazaar afterwards and maybe find some presents for the family and friends. We'll see, and hopefully I'll be able to negotiate the prices, but I'm probably gonna be very bad and I'm probably gonna pay twice, triple the price. So wish me luck. I'll see you at the temple.
I arrived to the Manakula Vinayagar temple, dedicated to the god Ganesh. It is a popular pilgrimage site in Pondicherry. Cameras aren't allowed inside, so I filmed outside. On my way, I stopped at the Immaculate Conception Cathedral. As I arrived, you could hear some kind of chanting, like this one. I finally made it to the big market called the Goubert Market. It had a bit of everything: food, spices, clothes, flowers. After a long day, I went back to my hotel and had a lovely day at the temple.
Okay, I hope you'll be able to hear me because there's a lot of music and sound going around. I'm actually next to a Hindu temple, as you could see. I showed you earlier, but just so you got an idea. And so yeah, so in the end I did go to the temple, as you saw, but I decided not to get the blessing from the elephant. Oh, I'm talking so serious, like you know, the elephant wasn't in chain or anything. There was his like owner or the guy in charge of him, and you know, like there wasn't any proof that the elephant was badly treated, but you know what, I just figured that just in case, I just didn't feel comfortable. Like just say, I just didn't feel comfortable. It might be a bit hypocrite of my part to say I didn't want to, but then film the elephant. But yeah, so the temple, I couldn't show you the inside, but it was really beautiful. It was full of color, you know, it's very different from what you usually see. Yeah, and so then I went to the Grand Bazaar Market, like I said. I filmed a bit, but again, I didn't feel comfortable filming too much inside, so I just took a few snaps and things like that. Yeah, it was interesting. You know, it was a big part was covered, and that was the fish market. And there was a lot of spices, a lot of fruit and vegetables. There was a lot of garlic. Like I've never seen that many garlic in my life, and you know, not even the full ones. Like just does that make sense? The more I make this video, the more I realize I don't speak English well at all. So anyway, and then I walked a bit. I went to the Immaculate Cathedral as well, because it was on the list, not on the list of what I was supposed to see, but it was just on the list of things to see in Pondicherry, so I figured it wasn't far, so I was like, let's go for it. And before I went home, I went into the temple one last time. Took my shoes off. You have to take shoes off in India when you go to sacred places. They have celebration in the evening, like late afternoon, evening, and they have different areas. So I figure it's for different gods, different statues, and so people come and give offerings to them, like flowers or even food or candles. And there's often a holy man. I'm not sure the name, but when I'll find it, I'll put the name just there. And you know, so they go to him to get the offerings and everything, and yeah, then I think I arrived at one point where they were going to do a sort of ceremony, but they all started looking at me, so even though I didn't come close to them, but I was like, oh, okay. I'm like a white girl, like it's not my religion, so I could understand maybe they didn't feel comfortable either. So I just went around and then just left afterwards and arrived in my hotel room and voila. And so I've just ordered food. Alright, so I'll see you tomorrow. I'm gonna see a lot of temples tomorrow and it's gonna be a long trip. So, see you then.
I left early morning with Simbo for Tanjavur. On the way, we were going to stop to see several temples, known as the Great Living Shola Temple. As the name says it, they were built during the Shola dynasty. First temple was Brihadeswarar in Kangekonda, Cholapuram. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. Completed in the 11th century AD, it is dedicated to Shiva, although it displays other Hindu gods like Vishnu, Durga, Surya, and many others. Aside from the main temple, there are 5 shrines around it. As in most temples, I wasn't allowed to film inside, unfortunately. It resembles a lot like the temple in Tanjavur, but it is smaller, yet more refined. We made our way to the second temple, Airavatesvara in Dharasuram. It was constructed in the 12th century AD. The temple is also dedicated to Shiva and displays other Hindu figures. Airvata is a white elephant who carries Indra, the god of heavens. Legend says that when Airvata found his previously lost color, he venerated Shiva right here in this temple. I went inside and was blessed by a pujari, who placed a bit of ash on my forehead, an attribute to Shiva. The last temple was Brihadishvara in Tanjavur. The name is very similar to the first temple. It was constructed in the 11th century AD. 2 gigantic Dvarapala, or guardians, indicate the direction of the sanctuary at the oriental gates. As in every Shiva temple, we have the representation of Nandi, this one measuring 6 meters long and weighing 25 tons. There's numerous inscriptions around the temple walls. They have helped scholars understand the Shola Empire. The inscription gives details about the administration of the temple, as well as its revenue. It is the only temple in India with such inscriptions. The Vimana Tower is one of the tallest in South India, measuring 66 meters high and has 13 levels inside.
I just keep having electricity cuts all the time, so so it's a bit annoying, and my vent keeps turning on and off, so that's gonna be fun. Actually, that's quite common in India and some of the hotels, depending on where you are. The electricity cuts on and off, so that's how it is. Anyway, so as you saw today, I got to see a couple of temples. Actually, there was one temple on the list that I didn't get to see, so I'm probably gonna mispronounce this again. I'm really sorry. Chidamparam. So actually, that's the location of where the temples are. It's not actually the name of the temples. So for example, today I got to see Brihadeswar Temple, which is in Gangekonda, Cholapuram. Yeah, probably. Again, difficult words. So yeah, that's the area I went. Where is it? Kangekonda Cholapuram, but the name of the temple is Brihadeswar Temple. So that was the first one I got to see. Then I saw in Darasuram. Am I saying this right? Darasuram. It was the Airavata temple. And at that temple, I got the blessing of a pujari. Normally, I don't really get close to shrines because it's not my religion and I don't want to impose myself. So I try and keep my distance to not, be like a tourist. Oh my god, what is that? I don't know what that accent was, but I don't want to be, overwhelming if, it's their prayers or blessings, and I don't want to intrude on that, so I was trying to keep my distance. But the pujari actually waved at me to come over, so I was like, oh, okay, like if he's insisting, and there was a little group and they all kind of went their ways to let me go through, which I thought was a bit weird. I was like, I'm not actually, this is not my god, but okay, sure. I don't want to impose or anything. And so he was telling me it was the representation of Shiva. It's called a lingam. And it doesn't look like a human shape or, a god shape, but it's an abstract type of object. And so he was showing that, he was explaining that it was for Shiva. And then he put a bit of ash on my forehead, and so that was quite an experience. It was interesting, all right. And I got to go around the temples. The last one I went to, so that was a tricky one because it's actually a temple I was supposed to see tomorrow, but I saw today. So maybe the one I didn't see today, I'll see tomorrow. Does that make sense? So the last temple I got to see was Brihideshwara temple, and it's a huge temple complex. It was the biggest one that I'd seen, and it was just really breathtaking. I'm someone who loves classical art and architecture, and just to see the work that's been done, the carvings, just wow. I know I probably sound like a geek, but it's truly something that I really like, and I kind of felt, like architecture discovering the temple, like Lara Croft, except without the boobs and the guns, and being Lara Croft. You get it, but it was still, I don't know, it's something that really spoke to me, let's say. And also when I was at the temple, there was a couple of families who had asked me to take photos, so this time I didn't have my huge hat, so I think but I have to say, I was the only white person there, and I'm quite a tall person, so, you can't really miss me, even if I tried to, but no, I mean, the children was waving at me saying hi, so it was very endearing. And actually there was one family at the second temple who had asked me to come, and there was like a mother, and I think there was like two other women, maybe the aunt or the grandma, and lots of children, and they were all taking photos, and the mother shook my hand and was like asking me, oh, where are you from, and oh, what's your name, and so they didn't understand when I said Allison, so I said, oh, just call me Allie, it's easier. And when they took their photos, they all shook my hands, even the children, so there was just like me, it was just very sweet. I was very touched by that. And so anyway, that was it for today. I'm in my hotel room in Tanjore. Not the biggest fan of it, to be honest. It's okay, it's not horrible or anything. It's just not the best that I've seen. Like the other hotels were a bit nicer, and also I felt like it wasn't very welcoming, let's say, but maybe I'm just being a bit harsh. So anyway, so I will see you guys tomorrow after breakfast, probably on the road again. I'll be going to Chettinadu. I'll be stopping by another city, I think it's called Torshi. I'll be stopping by Trishi first, so I don't know if I'm seeing a temple tomorrow, big surprise, but I am seeing the area of Chettinad. I am seeing a few
another temple, but not the same that the one previously, so yeah, you'll just have to see with me. I just realized that the lighting is really bad, and same as the images, so please forgive me. It's not my fault. Well, I don't think it is. Well, if it is, sorry. And if it isn't, well, it's not my fault. Oh, and of course, when I make my apologies, then the image is clear. Thank you, camera. Thank you.
Before going to Chettinad, we stop on the way in Tiruchirappalli to visit 2 temples. Here is Sri Ranganaswamy Temple, dedicated to Ranganatha, a reclining form of the Hindu deity Mahavishnu. It is often listed as the largest functioning Hindu temple in the world. Occupying an area of 156 acres with a perimeter of 4,160 meters, it makes it the largest temple in India and one of the largest religious complexes in the world. It is enclosed by 7 concentric walls and has 21 guparans, towers, 39 pavilions, 50 shrines, Iyiram Kal Mandapam, also known as a hall of 1,000 pillars, and several small body waters inside. Next, we headed to Rockfort. It is a historic fortification and temple complex built on an ancient 83 meters high rock. At the very top is the Ganesh temple, dating back to the Pallava era, which I went to visit. There are 2 other temples in the fort complex. One at the foot of a hill, also dedicated to Ganesh, and one to a Nayaka era saint, the Yumanavor. We hit the road again for the next destination, Kanadukantan in the Chettinad region. I was going to be staying here, Chettinad Mansion. It's existed since 1902 and was constructed just across Raja's palace seen previously. It spreads over 40,000 square feet and has managed to keep its original splendor. There is a total of 12 rooms. All rooms are designed according to an ancient architectural patterns of the 1900s. When I arrived, I was offered this beautiful flower necklace. There is also a very small museum inside the mansion, with various family heirlooms and photographs preserved by a 6th-generation granddaughter.
I actually wanted to film outside, but it's really hot at the moment, so it's only 2:30, so I might wait till it's 3 o'clock. I'm looking because there were some monkeys and I scared them when I opened the door. And so I was wondering if they were coming back, but I think if they hear my voice, they won't. And the funny thing is, I didn't realize there was a lock here on the door. Because can you imagine if I left my door open and they just come into the room? That would not be funny. They'd make a mess. So right now I am in Chettinad Mansion. It's a place in Chettinad, obviously. The name of the village is Kanadukantan, something like that. Kanadukantan. And it's considered a World Heritage Town. Is that it? It's considered
heritage village, and so I'm in this really nice guest house. I've been welcomed with flowers, and it was, I think, a palace before, and it got turned into a guest house. There was 100 rooms. Now there's 12 rooms for visitors to come and stay. There's a hotel in it. It's like a very, very small hotel, very small. There's like a museum in it. It's a very small museum, but it's still interesting to see. So I actually wanted to see if I could access up there, because there is a ladder. The thing is, it's my feet. I have been burning them. I don't know if I told you, but when I went to visit the temples, so the temples are outside and very sunny, and it's boiling hot for your feet, especially when you don't have socks. And I might have 1 or 2 blisters. Mom, I'm fine, it's okay. You won't need to amputate my legs or my feet, whatever. Mom is very worried for me, so I'm trying to reassure her. I put some aloe vera yesterday, but today it happened again. Like, I went out and I was like, I don't think you're supposed to curse in a temple, but I was like, it was just like so painful, and I was like, oh, I could be one of those women walking on those, burning coals or something, and I know it's not for me. And one of the other temple we went to see, I actually put my socks on, except it was upstairs, so we had to walk the stairs, and it was very slippery, so I almost fell down 3 times. So that was fun. And so now, since I have to wait till 3 in the hopes that it's calming down, I'm probably going to take a quick cold shower, and I might do a bit of laundry at my way, which is just soap and water, because I think it needs a good wash. So yeah, and so I'll see you after. I'm going to visit the village for a bit, so you're coming with me, obviously. So let's discover it together.
Kannadu Canton has been declared a heritage village by the Government of India. Chettinad is the home of the Natukottai Chettiars, a prosperous banking and business community. The region is well known for its 9th century mansions, built with Italian marbles, Burmese teak, and even English steels, and following the rules of Vastu Shastra, a traditional Hindu system of architecture. Unfortunately, World War II destroyed the Chettiards' business economy, forcing many of them to emigrate elsewhere, and leaving Chettinad to fall into obscurity. But the region has managed to stay relevant, and has become a favorite tourist destination. I walked through the streets to see the area and the beautiful houses. However, I had a bad encounter.
So I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna put this in the video, but I thought I might still record it because it's part of my experience in India, and I did plan not to, show all the good side of India, and that's why I'm filming a lot of the street and everything like that, so it's more authentic. So I was walking in the street, and it was fine. There was maybe one woman who came ask me money, and there was just a group of guys who asked for a photo. Since it's a group, I felt a bit more comfortable. But then there was a guy on a bicycle, a small kid. He couldn't have been more than 13. And first of all, I was hearing someone kind of making the sound of kissing, and I usually ignore those because don't give in to them. And if it was in my own country, I would have told them off, saying, "I don't do that," if it was towards me. But this isn't my country, and I don't know how the culture are and everything, so I was just, I'm going to ignore it, and I'm just going to move on. So the kid comes and
calling me, and at first I thought he wanted to take a photo of me in the camera, so, I was like, oh no, because, you can never be too safe, and I didn't want to lend him my camera, especially he's on a bicycle, so, so then, he was, trying to tell me to come with him or something, so I was just like, no, like, I don't know you or anything, and, then, I don't know, I think he was trying to insinuate that he was putting his hand around his crotch area, and, the kid's 13, and, so, I was just like, no, I'm going that way. He's like, no, I'm that way, and I was like, no, I'm going that way, and, because I couldn't understand, I'm like, look, I can't understand you, and, and I was feeling like this was wrong, so I was just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go, so bye. And I started walking away, and so with the bicycle, he kind of hits me in the leg, so I turned around and I'm like, hey, stop doing that. So he kind of got scared and like backed off, because I was like, like, I told you no, so, and so I was walking along the road, like the street, and then like, I could hear a bicycle, so I thought it might be someone else, because I had left him a couple of minutes ago, and as he passed by me, he like pinched my ass. And I know I shouldn't cry for things like that, but it just got me so annoyed that, fuck, it's so annoying. And so, I didn't like let it be. I just yelled at him in the street. I didn't care if it's not appropriate in India or not. I was just like, like, no, like, started insulting him. And, first he started saying other things to me. I think he was insulting me too, and, he was going around his bicycle, and I think he flipped me, so I flipped him back. Very mature on my part, and, I was like, no, don't do that. Don't ever do that again. Like, stop doing that. Never again. And he kind of disappeared and then reappeared, and it was like, when staying there, like, waiting for me, so I was just going towards him, like, saying, don't do that again. Don't you ever do that again, like, ever, to anyone. And he's like, oh, sorry. I was like, no, it's not okay. It's not okay to be sorry. Like, don't do that. And he's like, oh, and I was just like, would you do that to your mother? Would you do that to your sister? Any other member of the family? I was like, really annoyed, and I was like screaming, like, would you do that to your mother? Would you do that to your sister? And he's like, oh, I don't understand. And I was like, don't you ever do that again. And again, like, oh, sorry, I'm so sorry, oh, but please, and again, his hand around his crotch, so I think he wanted me to, whatever, but I was just like, and I think he got a bit uncomfortable, because since I was screaming, he was like, shh, and looking around like, oh, shh, no, please, shh, and I was like, no, I won't, like, now I feel a bit pathetic of crying over this, but it's just that I don't understand this concept of guys doing that and then like, oh, hi, okay, you pinched my ass, okay, let's make it over. Like, it doesn't work like that, guys. Why do you need to do that to women? And I know that's like the least worst thing that could have happened to me, but it's still so insulting, it's so humiliating. And I mean, this kid is 13, maybe less, and so after I finished yelling at him in the street, not giving a fuck, I went back to the hotel, so I saw that there was one of the staff who was like looking a bit surprised. He could obviously something had happened, because I was just telling the guy to fuck off, and I think I'm a bit upset because well, obviously apart from the humiliating part, it's also because it's the first not nice thing that's happened in India so far. And so that's not gonna let me down. I'm just like in the moment, and if I've learned anything from my therapist, that I'm so grateful to have had. She's not dead. I just stopped going to see her because I moved countries, so it was a bit complicated. And, but anyway, it's not to don't suppress your emotions, how even pathetic they might seem, or don't say you should or shouldn't feel that way, because you're putting barriers, and you shouldn't do that. You should be able to, if you feel upset, feel upset. Like, it's no one else's job to judge how you feel. And if I know anything, I think we're the persons who are the worst judge on ourselves. I've always been a bit too hard with me, and so I'm learning to be more
be kinder to myself, you know? So even if I do think it's over the top of reacting this way, I'm gonna let it happen. And when I've calmed down, I might be able to joke about it a couple of time later, but yeah. So that was the small annoyance so far. There might be more to come. I mean, you know, I know India has a reputation for not being great with women. There's a lot of assaults and everything, and but you know, it happens in every country. It might happen more in India. I actually don't know if there's another country that's worse or not, but because I don't have the facts and I don't want to say without the whole facts, but I know, you know, it has its reputation, and you know. But I don't want to focus on just the bad part, and I don't want to focus on just the good part. I want to focus a bit on everything. You know, this is my trip. This is how it's happening. So there. I'm crying over. Well, on camera, at least. Hey guys, I'm feeling much better. I actually talked on the phone with my sister, and it helped me a bit. So, drama over. So as it turns out, I'm actually the only guest here, because you remember I chose the perfect timing to go to India, and there's practically no tourists. I mean, I haven't seen that many white people. Not that it's, you know, it's nice to see other things than just white people, and but yeah, so I am the only guest here. So yeah. So I have this huge place just for me, but I only have one room, because let's not be too picky now, and plus that room is beautiful, so I'm very happy with it. Maybe I'll try and go in the other rooms, which probably not, because I'm a scaredy cat. And so earlier when I had lunch, I was in the big room, but just in the middle. I was, well, not in the middle, but placed in the middle towards the back, but it was still kind of, I don't know, like I was a duchess or something, like, oh, this is my place. It just felt a bit off, and so I just saw that I'm gonna be eating outside, and don't know if you can see, there's just a table just for me in this beautiful courthouse. So I feel very spoiled, a bit awkward, but in the good way. Like, it's just, well, I don't think I deserve, like, maybe I should just eat in my room, but, well, check with it, it's my holiday. And, so yeah, it's very nice. Actually, this building is more than 100 years old, and it's, like, the construction, I know that it has English steel. Can you hear? The wood is Burmese teak, I believe, and the marble and granite is Italian. And there's other things, so it took a while to build. The area is apparently an area where people, the Chetinads, or I'm probably not saying this right, but they were very good in building businesses and everything, so they were very wealthy, but because of the war, I believe it was the Second World War, they kind of had to come back, and they lost a lot of their fortunes, so a lot of them had to kind of abandon these places. So the palace you saw is completely abandoned, there's no one there. People do come back, though, for the big holidays, because they have to live outside, like in the big cities, to earn money and everything, but they know that family is here, and they always come back for festivities and everything. So it's pretty cool. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna eat. He did tell me what I was gonna eat, I just forgot because I have a terrible memory. And I believe it's gonna be Chettinad specialities, so I'm very excited. You know what, so far, not an issue with the food. The only issue I had once was that quiche that was very spicy, but other than that, like the breakfast I had, the lunch and everything, even if it was as simple as a dal, it's just so good. I mean, I am in the country of Indian food, but no, yeah, so I'm excited for this one. The lunch I had it wasn't exactly a soup, but there was like water and there was like a few carrots and onions and spring onions, I think, and other things like that. And it was really nice, so yeah. So I'm excited to see what I'm going to be eating.
In case you're wondering, I had some kind of a dip and naans. It sounds simple, but it was so good. The trip to Madurai was quick, since it's only a 2-hour drive. Today, I'd mainly visit the Meenakshi Amman temple, dedicated to the goddess Meenakshi, meaning fish died in Sanskrit. Not sure why.
Welcome back. We are now in Madurai. I did not sleep that well, not because of the hotel, but actually my air con broke down and I only had a fan and it was really hot in the room. And when I went downstairs to see if there was anyone, no one was there, and it was only 8 o'clock. So it's not exactly a hotel, it's a guest house, so I understand that, but I was a bit like, oh, you know, because I was walking around the whole building. Basically, I had the building for just myself, but so that was a bit annoying for the aircon. And so I just kept walking up because of the heat, and eventually the aircon started working again, like at around 4 o'clock in the morning, so yeah, that was not the best fun. So I have just visited the main temple here in Madurai. It's for the goddess Mikasi. I'll tell you that in a second. Meenakshi Amman temple. So it's dedicated to the goddess Meenakshi, which means who has fish eyes. When I looked online, I didn't find any goddess with fish eyes, so it's also supposed to be one of the avatars of another goddess, Parvati. Am I saying that right? So it was interesting. Problem was we cannot bring any cameras or mobiles, anything electronic you cannot bring with you in the temple. So the only pictures I took were from the outside, from one of the doors. So I came through the north. They actually have 4 big pillars, well, not pillars, but 4 big main monuments for north, east, west, south. So it's interesting. It's just a shame that you can't film, but it was quite big. Actually, I think I again got lost just because I couldn't find the right exit, because I was going through the exit west or something, and I was like, no, that's not where I want to go. Later there is the ceremony of the sunset, so I'm not exactly sure what happens. I think they... let me see what they said. So yeah, it's a ceremony for the goddess and it's linked to sunset, so it's around 8 o'clock. I should go there at around 7. That's what Simbo said. So Simbo is not coming with me. I'm a bit annoyed about that, if I'm gonna be honest, because I have to go to the temple by myself, and I'm a kind of scaredy cat, and especially after yesterday, I just don't feel that comfortable. But you know what? It's a good experience for me. Don't be scared, Allison, and kick some ass. Maybe not too much, because I don't want to get in trouble. So yeah, I just had lunch. It was so spicy. And now I'm probably gonna have a little rest. I actually went with one of the cheese naans, so I'm hoping it's not gonna upset my stomach. Hopefully. Yeah, and then there's normally in the evening the temple market and everything, so we'll see. There are probably gonna be loads of people trying to sell me things. It gets a bit annoying at a point where anytime anyone sees you, they just call for you, like, oh, do you need a guide, do you need a guide? I'm like, no, I'm just walking, and they don't take it no for an answer. It's like, are you sure? But, you know, you won't understand anything. I was like, I'm just looking, it's fine, I'll get the information. Oh, but you want, I'm like, leave me alone. Or, but, you know, in the same way I understand, I don't want to be insensitive, because I also know, you know, it's hard for them as well. But, you know, there's a man trying to sell me a postcard, there's a girl trying to sell me a map, there's a guy who would not let me alone to go see his clothing shop, and I was just like, leave me alone. I actually got a bit annoyed at one of the
local guides, because he's like, hey, where are you from? I was like, France. Oh, you need a local guide. I'm like, no, I'm just looking. Or, you know, I like to walk around the temple even if it's a no exit area, just so I can look. I love observing and, you know, taking the temple in and everything, so I just want to be left alone. And so, you know, there was one guy, oh, where are you going? And I was like, I'm just looking. And then this guy starts following me, saying, oh, do you need a guide? Oh, do you want to talk about the ceiling? I can tell you about the ceiling. I was like, I'm just looking, thanks. And he's like, oh, I was like, I'm next to the street. And again, like, oh, what do you? And I was like, I am just looking. Well, I didn't yell, but I was like, I'm just looking. So it's one of those bit annoying things, but honestly, like, if that's the worst, it's really nothing. It's just a small irritation, let's say, but it's not a big deal at all. Alright, I am probably gonna go for a nap now. I can feel my thighs are really tense. Yesterday I think I was starting to have some cramps there, so that was fun, especially coming down the stairs, and I was like, oh no. So I think I'm gonna lay down a bit, rest, and then get ready to go out into the wild again. So I'll see you then. No, I can't. No, you're not coming with me. Damn it. Oh, that sucks. You won't get to see the... Well, I'll describe you how it was, if I can. Or I'll find some image to put and show you how it was. But yeah, no cameras, no mobiles, no nothing. I'm sorry. So, I'm back from the temple, and actually it's a good thing you didn't come with me because I didn't see anything at all. So I'm a bit frustrated about that because, like, Simbo told me to be there at 7 and that I had to buy a ticket and that he'd repay me the next day because the agencies paid all my entrances and everything. So I paid the agency, and it's the agency who, like, it's complicated, but I paid the agency a certain amount. And so when there's a visit to go, it's the driver who pays, but with the money from the agency. And so if I paid something, like, he'd have to pay me back. If it's only the museum entries that's included in the travel. So he said that, and also the hotel, I asked the hotel, like, oh, what time is it? And they're like, oh, 8 or 8:30. So it wasn't clear, and I had difficulties finding it on the internet. So I went back to the temple, this time through the east door, east gate. So I left my shoes, obviously, and so, you know, I was looking around, and then there was like, there was a queue, but I wasn't sure if I was allowed, again, because I'm not Hindu. So I looked, I went around and looked in the area, and someone told me, no, you're allowed to go in. So I thought it was a different area, because I was already in the temple, and I was already in that area, but I was just not sure, because there's a ceremony. Well, I thought it was. So I ended up going in the queue, and then there's like one of the guards who, like, doesn't allow, not allowed, go. But, you know, not really nice, and, you know, I was like, but they told me I could go in, so, you know, it's kind of like, and so I was in the queue for a while, but I wasn't sure after a while if I was allowed or not, but it was just not clear. Normally there's signs saying only Hindus only, or no foreigners. There wasn't, so I just didn't know, so I was kind of hoping someone could tell me if I was in the right queue or not. Eventually, like halfway through, there's a guy who comes like, oh, you're not allowed to be here. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know where to go, like, please help me. So he just got me out of the queue, sent me, and so it was exactly the same area I was already in. And, you know, then there was a place where they sold tickets, so I was like, oh, well, that's probably for the ceremony. So, you know, I went. Indians don't know personal space, but, you know, they're kind of pushing getting their tickets. So, you know, I just wanted to ask if it was the right place to get the tickets. But, you know, and so I kind of had my bill out, and the guy takes it, but then looks at me, and then I'm very confused, and I was like, is it to go there? And then he's like, oh, and then he just gave it to me back, but not explaining, so I was like, is it the other way? And he showed me that it was the place for Hindus only. So, you know, fair enough, but it just wasn't clear, and I'm annoyed again by the guides harassing you, like, oh, you need a guide. I was like, I don't fucking need a guide. So then I waited around for like half an hour for it to be 8 to see if something was happening. Nothing happened. I was getting a bit frustrated because it was twice that I was in the wrong place to go. Although the nice part was that when I was sitting down, there was one girl who came to talk to me for a bit, and then there's another girl who came as well, and, you know, brought her family, and she was very sweet. Oh, I'm so annoyed, I forgot her name, but she had the most beautiful name ever, Avitri, something like that, but it was the most beautiful Indian name I ever heard. And she was so pretty, she was so nice, and it was just very touching, you know, like just wanting to talk to you, even if it's to practice their English, it's just nice. And her sister was so shy, same for the cousins and everything, so no, it was nice. But, so then I walked around the temple till, okay, to be honest, I didn't stay till 8:30, I stayed at like 8:25, but after a while, and I was looking and nothing seemed to be happening, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go. So to be honest, I don't know if there was something that happened at 8:30, but I was annoyed, I was tired, I'd been waiting, and so yeah. And then I found my way back, except that I thought I got lost. Sorry, Mom. I'm not lost, I'm okay, see? It's just that I didn't recognize the street, and I knew that it was simple because it was straight, straight, straight. Then I turned, wait, when did I turn? So, when I went to the temple, it was straight, 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 straight. Oh no, first I turned from the hotel, then I turned right, then straight, 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 then again right, straight, and it's simple, so. But, yeah, and, I think it's a good thing that I'm also out in the street. No, because you know, often I'm too scared to do things. And I know, like, it's weird that I say that while I'm alone in India. Technically, I'm not alone, so. But, yeah, so, you know, I'm always a bit wary in the street. I never know what's gonna happen, especially I didn't have a phone on me or a camera because I wasn't allowed to have it in the temple. And then I was like, okay, well, if ever I get lost, I can just say the name of the hotel, which I could not remember. I was like, Madurai Hotel? And I was like, no, there's like thousands of those, so what is it? But eventually I trusted my instinct saying, no, you know the way, it was straight, 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 turn, straight, 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 turn again. And I did find it, so yeah. I'm gonna look online now if there was a ceremony, if I did miss it. Like, I'm not gonna go back out anyway, so I missed it. But I might write to the agency saying, well, look, like, I told you before it's okay if I do things on my own, but you need to give me more details. And if I paid for that entry, then I want it refunded because I didn't get to go because you did not explain well. It just wasn't clear, you know, so I'm a bit annoyed. But the good thing is that I got to see, like, real India walking in the street. I got to do that in, Pondicherry, but you know, it's nice to do it in different cities, and yeah. So there we go. I'm gonna order some food. I'm not that hungry, so I'm gonna order fries and a Coke. Very American. Sorry, Americans. And yeah, go to bed. I already napped for a long time, but I think I'll need it again. And hopefully tomorrow will be a bit better. All right. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We are heading to Myanmar and to see teas. Good morning, guys. So, how did I sleep? Better than the previous nights, but again, it was a play with hot and cold, and I'm, anyway. But quite okay, actually, so that's good. I just had breakfast. It was a buffet, so I got a few, not too much, because yesterday I ate way too much, so today I just had like a few Indian traditional food, and I also had a boiled egg, blah blah blah, not very interesting, just thought I'd mention it. And so now it's around 8 o'clock. I'll meet Simbo. I'll meet Simbo at 9, as always. We are going to Munnar and yeah, we're gonna see a tea plantation. So I don't know if we're gonna stop on the way to see other things because it's a 5-hour drive approximately. So I don't know, but we'll see. I did send an email to the agency last night asking them about the fact that I was disappointed that I didn't see the dance because it wasn't clear and everything, so hopefully my email was clear enough. So yeah. Yep. And I only have kind of 3 nights approximately, so today Myanmar, then tomorrow is gonna be the boat ride, so I'm quite excited for that one. We're gonna go through Kerala. Yes, we're going to Kerala today. Woo! Very excited because that's one place I really want to see. And even though I'm not gonna spend that much time in Kerala with my guide, driver, my sister joining me, so we will spend more time there. Oh, do you guys want to see the view? That's not the, oh, you can sort of see, well, that's not the temple. Or is it? I don't think it is. Wait, you can't even see. So I'm not sure what that is. I do know at the reception they asked me if I saw the palace in Madurai, but I did not know there was a palace, and I didn't see any on the guide. Maybe I should have looked online, but you know what? India's so big, there's so much to do, so I was gonna miss a lot of things as well. But see a lot of things, so that's good. That's very good. Alright, so I'm gonna finish packing and then hit the road. And one thing I'm looking forward to is that in Kerala it's gonna be less hot than it is here. So yes, I'm probably gonna sweat a bit less. Sorry, that was a bit gross, but true fact. Okay guys, so I'll see you at the plantation.
As we started leaving Madurai, Simbo asked if I liked hiking and brought me to a place called Samanar Malai, also known as Samanar Hills. About 15 kilometers away from Madurai, this spot was the main location where Jain monks lived over 2,000 years ago. Their monastery was at the top of the hill. It doesn't exist anymore. It is a very peaceful area. It has a lotus pond and you can hear the birds sing. Samanar means Jain in Tamil, and Malai means hill. It's quite sad to see how polluted the area is. There is 300 steps to reach the top. I was dead on arrival. At the top I saw these beautiful sculptures. This is called Pishipadam. These sculptures include two important figures in Jainism, Bahubali and Mahavira. The view is incredible. You can even see the Meenakshi Amman temple. On the road, we seemed to pass by a village ceremony. Many people were walking in the same direction, carrying what seemed to be offerings. We had a quick stop to look at a red brick manufacturing place. Here they are letting the bricks dry in the sun, or so Sembo told me. It was still a long drive to reach Munnar. We'd have to go over the mountains to finally arrive in Kerala. Thanks for watching. Join me next time in the Kerala region. Please like and leave me a comment. Thank you, my babies.